Searching for Love, A Guide to Healing the Inner Me, serves as a guide for what a healed heart looks like. This book provides sobering truth to ensure you will create an environment authentic and God-ordained healing. This book encourages the reader to let go of the false self, and it reminds us that if we are to embrace who we are, we have to let go of who we are not. When we aim to heal the inner me and understand everything is not because of the enemy, we allow ourselves to detoxify from the junk that lies dormant that we honestly don't want to surface. It is my prayer that after reading this feat, you are compelled to move from toxicity, recognize your value, and arrive at a place called heal.
Hey, 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 hey. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I have to play my music, you know. I'm sorry, y'all. Welcome to Kitchen Conversation with Dr. T, Dr. Toya. Disclaimer, I always give this disclaimer for y'all. I am not a medical doctor. I am a doctor of ministry. I call myself a doctor of your spirit. You hear me? So listen, that's what God gave me. So I'm a change agent in the earth. So this is my mandate. This is what I do. Hey, you know I like to groove. That don't mean I ain't saved. Like we need to get that old mentality out the way. This is Anthony Brown and group therapy. I got that. I got that. Thank you for coming in on tonight. Make sure you click, comment, and share. Share, share, share. Click, 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 share. Tag some people in here because it's going to be a good conversation on tonight. Hopefully, this music ain't too loud for you. But this is going to be a good conversation. This is the conversation that most people don't like to talk about, whether you go to church, whether you don't. But it's a conversation that is needed, and we need to talk about it. And I got the right person to come in and talk about it. So she's experienced in insurance. She's a woman of God. She's an entrepreneur. We're gonna talk about it all tonight, okay? But before we get into that, you saw in the beginning, I always tell y'all, get your drink. I'm doing this water thing again, y'all. Pray for me here. Pray for me. I ain't got the Coke tonight. I'm trying to do the water thing, okay? You got your favorite snacks. This was gonna get me in trouble, y'all. This was gonna get me in trouble. You see this? I can eat this whole box. This is the devil. Okay. But this is y'all make sure y'all got your snacks. Make sure you got something to drink. You got some coffee, tea, water, whatever you like. No, I ain't gonna say whatever. But listen, I can't see you anyway. So drink what you need to drink, okay? I'm drinking water. Okay. Usually I have me a Coke over here, but since I can't have me a Coke right here, I need to lose a little weight. I got these pandemic pounds that is of the devil. Okay. So I got to get rid of these pandemic pounds because they don't agree with my needs. They don't agree with my, y'all know I just had a birthday. It was the 7th anniversary of my 40th birthday. So hey, I got to get this body in order, back in order like it was. So listen, don't forget, get your Searching for Love, A Guide to Healing the Enemy, my 2 books. Can you see that? I always want to do this like YouTube. You see? The Pink Experience. It's just going to talk about my breast cancer. So do it again. Breast cancer journey. This one talk about inner healing. So everybody needs to go through inner healing in order to have a great marriage, a great relationship, a great friendship, whatever type of relationship you need. You have to get healed because guess what? The saying is that you'll bleed on people that didn't even cut you and don't deserve the cut that the blood that you couldn't. You understand what I'm saying? So listen, I need you to make sure that you get this book. It ain't but 55 pages, y'all, but it is impact. It tells you how. It got 3 steps that you can go through to get to start the inner healing process. Okay, we all got to go through this inner healing. We got to get it right. Okay, we are in ministry. Most ministry leaders, we are bleeding on people and hurting people, even in the church. So yeah, we got to get healed for real, as the young people say, for real, for real. Okay, so we gotta get healed. But I ain't on that tip today. But on today we want to talk about getting your affairs in order. I know one time I was listening to Pastor Keon out in Houston Lighthouse. I think that's the name of his church. And he was saying, listen, we tired of doing chicken dinners to bury you. Y'all GoFundMe accounts to bury you. So guess what? You have to be a good steward. God give us wisdom, y'all. God give us wisdom and God give us common sense, okay? We all know that day is coming, even though we don't want to think about it, even though we don't want to think. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it for my parents. My parents are still here with me. My children are still here. My brothers are still here with me. But, along the line, I did, of course, we all during COVID, we have all experienced some type of loss during COVID. So even during the time, me and my husband had COVID at the same time. we had that talk, because what if something happened, with us, and we didn't have a living will, we didn't have. I know when I was going through cancer, they called it 5 wishes. That if something happened, we had it written down, whatever they need to do. So, but you need to make sure that you get these things in order. Now, I'm gonna bring on my guest. I'm through talking about myself, but I'm gonna bring on my guest. She is an entrepreneur. She is a woman of God. She is a healing minister, a deliverance minister. She's prophetic. So she's all of this. But guess what? She takes care of her business. She got 3 kids, actually. She has 3 kids, and she got to make sure her affairs in order to take care of them. So this is a passion of hers, and I linked up with her, and I said, hey, we need to talk about this. We need to tell the other believers, other people, that they need to get their affairs in order. So I'm gonna bring her on. Hey, Vanity, how you doing? I can't hear you. Wait, let me see. Hold on. Say, okay, now.
Oh, hey, y'all.
What's up? Vanity. Oh, look, and she do a little flowing too. She can, she do a little rap. She do a little some too. I'm gonna let her. Maybe I'm gonna let her throw a little, bars out there.
I don't know. I'm a little rusty. We're gonna see.
That's all right. Look, I know you can come up with it. You come up with little bars. You got it. You got it. But introduce yourself to the people on Kitchen Conversation. Tell them what you do and all about Vanity.
Yes. So first of all, thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to be on your show. I think what you're doing is incredible for just multiple reasons. And even this conversation that we're going to dive in today, the importance of having our affairs in order. I mean, my God, like you mentioned earlier, one thing we know for certain is at some point we're all going to leave this earth, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's inevitable. It's just a matter of when we're going to leave. And I think that's so important. Like you said, that day is coming, and we don't want to be like would you say, Pastor Keon, we don't need to be doing no fish fries, right?
Right. And chicken dinners. Go funny. We don't need to do that.
Funny. And no offense to someone who has done that, right? And anybody or anything like that. But what we're saying here, and what I appreciate the fact that you're doing today, is saying, you know what? We see that a lot in our community. Let's do something different.
Right.
And so, again, my name is Vanity Williams, woman of God. She introduced me. I'm a minister. I am an entrepreneur. I'm an insurance broker. And so one of the things I do, I work with many clients, individuals, businesses, entrepreneurs, and put together packages for them for insurance. And specifically, I specialize in life insurance as well as health insurance, which today we're going to talk about life insurance, because we mainly want to reach that third of people, because there's based off statistics, there's about a third of people who don't have insurance at all, right? And honestly, that number scares me. We know we're all going to pass. And I think the best thing you can do when you love your family, right? You love your children, is to get insured, so that way they're not grieving you, and they're grieving the fact that I ain't got the money to bury my mom or my daddy.
Right.
And so, for me specifically, just being raised in the projects and things like that, coming from that background, there's so many people I know personally who, loved ones, family members, who did not have any insurance at all. Right. So it's disheartening, because again, it's one of those things, like my best friend Paul, he always says, like, if I'm gonna grieve, right? If I gotta lose my loved one, at least let me grieve while I'm going to the bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Going to the, so at least I can say, my parent gone and this person is gone, and I'm sad over that, but I'm glad that they were thinking of me and they left me something.
That's right.
They left me stuff to bury, them, and
right.
I think it's just important for us to just, for people to just understand that it's important to get your affairs in order. You know what I mean?
So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interject. I thought you were through. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna ask you too, because I'm curious, like what made you, you know what I mean, just even decide to say, let's talk about this.
Because like you said, like you said, it's more people. And then I talk to my daughter. My daughter's an entrepreneur, right? And I talk to you about her all the time. And I'm telling her that she needs to make sure, because she's an entrepreneur, and at this point, she's at the point that she had to get her own. Like from this point, before I was caring, I made sure she had life insurance. I made sure she had health insurance. Right. But she's at this point of her life that it has to, it has to pivot. Now she has to become that adult that she needs to become. And I'm telling her, hey, you need to make sure you get this, this, and this, because yes, you are an entrepreneur, but if something happens to you and, God forbid you get sick, or God forbid, something happened, that you need something to cover you, because, really people don't know that you go into a hospital and you ain't got insurance, they're ready to put you out. Right? They don't want to give you the same type of treatment if you have this excellent insurance, as they say, then you don't have an insurance. Because even when I was going through breast cancer, when I was going through breast cancer, I had the marketplace Obamacare because I wasn't working. So I had Obamacare. And even when I was going through breast cancer with that doctor, he said, oh, well, that's what happens when you have Obamacare. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean? At least I have something that's going to help me get my treatment. But when you have those types of when people have that different type of mentality, or have their own judgment about the insurance that you carry, you get different treatment. And so this is what, then you said a third, and I know most of it is African-American people, we don't think about what if, or we don't want to think about what if. Right. Because we want to live in the moment. And some, I'm not saying all, but I'm saying some just want to live in the moment. Hey, ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm just 23. Ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm just 24. Ain't nothing gonna happen. She's just 18. Or ain't nothing gonna happen. I'm just 30. I don't have nothing wrong with me. I don't have no heart problems, no high blood pressure, no nothing like that. So nothing's gonna happen. And we fail to plan. That's our problem. We fail to plan. And when we fail to plan, we plan to fail. And so we have to make sure that our families are taken care of, our children are taken care of. And even, in the event that something happens to us, God forbid, that our parents can take care of our children if something happens to us.
Bingo. Right? I think that's so powerful too. Like even me, myself personally, and I'll share this with everyone. Like personally, I wrote a policy on myself for $1 million. Okay. The reason I did that, and I already had a term life policy, like before I was an entrepreneur full time, when I was working for a corporation, I already had like I think a $300,000 term life policy already, right, with the company. But I did a separate policy with, that I wrote on myself, $1 million. I wrote that for because I looked at it this way. I have 2 children who are minors, right? I have a 21-year-old. So my thought process wasn't, I don't want just enough to bury me, right? Because the Bible tells us to, Proverbs 13:22, I think it says, a good man leaves their children's, their inheritance for their children's children, right? So we're to do that.
That's right.
So I said, I wanted to make sure, God forbid anything happened. I'm a woman of God who walks by faith and not by sight. Okay. I believe with long life, my Lord is going to satisfy me. But even still, the Lord tells us to use wisdom, right? So in using wisdom, I said, I wanted to make sure I had enough that God forbid, right? That the Lord said, you know what, V, you did your job. Good job. Good, my good and faithful servants, come on with me. If for some reason my dad and my heavenly Father saying, come on with me today, and my kids are young, I wanted to make sure that there was enough money for them to be able to have per month until they're at least 18, 19 years old, which is hence the reason I got such a large policy, because I'm looking at my 5-year-old. Okay, so from the time from 5 to 18, let me make sure she has an income coming in of at least X amount of dollars per month up until she's 18. And the same with my other daughter, and the same thing with my son's 21. But I said, him being an adult, let me make sure he has enough money put to the side to help him pay, for example, if I'm not able to help him with rent or bills or whatsoever, have you rather, I wanted to make sure he's at least taken care of for at least 3-4 years, right? God forbid I leave early. Why am I using this as an example? Because I think, you know, outside of just life insurance and just being able to make sure you have enough to bury a person, I think sometimes people think that that's all. But what if you have children? What if you're a parent, you have children? God forbid you leave this earth today. For whoever has to take care of your kid, do they have the money? You know what I mean? And I think we have to think of it like in that avenue as well, that we want to make sure they have enough to, or whoever's, you know, going to be taking care of them, that they'll have enough to sustain and provide for our children. God leave. You know what I mean? I don't think none of us know what they were leaving.
That's right. Nobody knows the day, know the hour. That's the Bible.
Listen, I may say, girl, you come on, girl. Come rest up. You know, and we don't know when that day is going to come, but we all know it's going to come for everybody. And especially if you have kids, if you're a mother or father who's listening right now, I encourage you, get some insurance, not just to bury you, but definitely get something to bury you, you know, enough, because the average funeral costs about between $7,000 and $12,000, give or take, right? So you have enough for that, at least for an insurance policy, but also make sure you have enough to cover any debt. So your debt, that's another thing. So your debt doesn't get whoever's your power of attorney, maybe it's a kid or whoever, or your spouse, so that your debt isn't getting left behind and becoming a burden for your loved one, right? If you're a homeowner, right, and maybe you still have a mortgage left on your home, right, and you want to make sure you can leave that home to your loved one, guess what? Get enough in your insurance policy to cover the remainder of your mortgage. You know, you know, get enough policy, get enough. Sorry, I'm messing up my connection here, but get enough to cover the amount that's going to take care of your kids. You know what I mean? So I just think those type of things are just something that we all need to think about and consider. You know what I mean? Because love, I think that's love.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
It is. So I know you was talking about, because I was writing down while you was talking, making little notes. Now, tell me the difference between, because I don't know if everybody knows about term life and whole life.
Whole life. So whole life, it is a permanent policy. A whole life policy is something that you own this policy. I love selling whole life policies, especially for kids, you know, because they can get it like crazy. It's very inexpensive for a child and almost just guaranteed for children, where you don't have to do any medical exams or anything like that. You just approve. But a whole life policy is yours. So whenever you're doing I don't know, whenever you're doing some type of questionnaire or something like that, and they ask you, do you have any assets? Guess what? A whole life policy is an asset. People don't, but a lot of rich people, a lot of wealthy, people are wealthy from insured from these policies. There's policies where people actually place their money in. It's called like an index policy. This is also a whole life. The policies actually grows interest, right? Grow interest on it. I see so many people even starting young who wants to start saving their money in this index policy so that it grows interest, so that way they can cash out when it's time to retire. It's so many different things. Whole life policy, right? So many types. A lot of wealthy people do this because also from with whole life policies, it's tax free. With insurance, that's another thing. So a lot of wealthy people, they are wealthy and they remain wealthy by investing in these policies. There's different types of whole life, you know, that's another conversation for another day. But to answer your question, whole life is beneficial because it's always yours. It's an asset. The beauty in the whole life policy is that God, you know, if for something, you know, life happens, right? Maybe some sort of hardship or something came up and maybe you needed to borrow, you know, from your whole life policy. You would have accrued, you know, interest and accrued cash value, what have you, where you can borrow money from your whole life policy. I use an example for parents. If you get your kid a policy, yes, the kid can have a policy. I mean, I got both of my daughters a $25,000 policy apiece, paying less than $20 a month. Okay. That's how cheap it is. You can get for your children, just FYI. But one of the benefits that I share with the whole life policies for children, right? That's their policy forever, right? Forever, even if they don't leave this earth until they 100. I mean, it's their policy forever. It's in place. But the beauty in that is, if your child wants to go to college, you need that extra money to pay for books, right? They want to put down on a home, right?
Wow.
I don't know. Get a car. You know what I mean? You can take from the cash value from a whole life policy.
Wow.
Just some benefits of whole life. Now, term life, it is normally what you have working for a job, right? You don't own that policy. So your term life is for a specific term. For example, if you work at a company, I used to work for Anthem. My policy when I started working for Anthem, my $300,000 policy disappeared when I left.
Right.
Then it was only good pending me working for them. But once I left, I no longer had insurance. So a term life is something that is for a specific term.
Okay.
Term life, it isn't bad. It's still a good policy. I think term life is beneficial because, how can I say this? For example, that, the example I gave earlier, the $1 million policy I wrote on myself. For a policy like that, I can't write that on a whole life policy. I wrote that on a term life. Usually you can get more on the term life. A lot of times people will get a whole life and a term life. Why? Because the term life could help just to have that extra, you know what I mean? As we use for the example of giving your kids an inheritance. Sorry, that's my alarm going off. Leaving your kids an inheritance. You may want to say, let me get a term life just to cover the X, X, Y, and Z for my family, like that. You got mortgage, get a term life. I personally, if you can do it, I say get both. Get a whole life and then term life to get, you know what I mean, to get a larger amount.
Wow.
But, yes.
Well, I guess, a lot of people don't know, especially us, especially about the difference between whole life and term life. That if that was the case, I probably would have got it 20 years ago. Okay. And so that's why I'm asking, because I know that, like you said, the wealthy people, they know about it. They pull money from it, and they probably had one on their child since they was born. And so by the time they're 16, 17, they got all of this money in it that they can pull out, and start businesses or pull this money to, buy houses or whatever, But what we need to do as a people, we need to educate ourselves more.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And if it was places where people would educate our people, and I know there's things out there, because we really don't want to read. We really just want stuff handed to us, because I get like that sometimes. Just tell me what I need to do. just tell me. I don't need to read all that. Just tell me what I got to do. So, because I done went through so much schooling, I don't want to read no more. You hear me? I'm so sick of reading and writing papers. And I don't listen. Just tell me. Okay, you the expert. You the SME. You the subject matter expert. Tell me what's going on.
Right.
But we need to educate ourselves, ourselves as a people, and learn what we need to do to make ourselves wealthy as well. And not just, and a lot of these wealthy people, it's generational. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's generational wealth. It's not just wealth for, right then and then if you die, it's over with. No, it's generational. They setting up their children and their children's children, just like you said in Proverbs. So if you're not taught at a young age, because 9 times out of 10, we are not taught at a young age what we need to do to set up generational wealth. Because most of the time, our parents didn't know, their parents didn't know, so we don't know, and we don't go out and try to search for the information. Right. Then we are all lost. Right. So this is why this type of platform, and when I meet people and I say, what you do, let's talk about it. Let's come on Kitchen Conversation. Let's educate the people. It's just a 30, 45 minute show. Give out some free nuggets and help the people. And if they want, more information, you got your information down there. They can reach out. That's why I call on you. So I listen. I got a daughter. She's,
She 26. She
Yeah.
finna be dropped off my insurance. What I need to do?
Right.
I was proactive. Sometimes we have to be proactive and not reactive.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm. And so,
especially with health insurance, and something you said was major too. And I'll share this quick testimony. Like one of my sisters, my younger sister, years ago, she got really, really, really sick.
mm-hmm.
To the point of every organ shut down. And that was just nothing but the grace of God that she survived. But she went from, from one hospital being airlifted to another hospital. She's in there, I mean, almost for over a month, I believe,
Wow.
And all this treatment that was required to save her life. One of my mother was saying is the fact that she was super grateful that she had good insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Had my mother not had good health insurance, like you said, even with just how important it was with you having
breast cancer.
The importance of having quality insurance, it is so crucial. And one of the, like I said, my mother, she was so grateful at the fact that my mom had such great insurance to cover all of the treatment and everything like that, because my God, the amount of money and everything that it took to, care for my sister, it wouldn't have gotten done had she not had the courage. So if you're listening, I implore you, like, please make sure you get insured. Reach out to me if you need to, and we'll leave my information for you. But get some insurance, health insurance, dental, vision. Like, if you, like I described, for my daughters, for example, I have a $25,000 policy for them each, for two of my daughters, and I pay about like $19 and some change. I mean,
for
crazy.
one or for two, both of them, or together?
Together. One of them is like $11. The other one's like what, $9, something like that, 9 and some change, something like that. Give it 8 and some change, something. My math ain't,
Right.
But together, so it's not as expensive as people think. And if we can spend money on coffee, we can spend money on getting the nails done. If we can spend money on bags, okay, come on. We can spend money on all these things that doesn't bring anything, that's not fruitful.
Right.
So why not invest that same amount of money? That's not the same things, but make sure you have things in order. One thing my grandma always said, and I guess that's why I always thought it to be important to have insurance. My grandma, she's always, she's gonna have her insurance. And one thing, we joke about, but we're serious, is she said, what people gonna say? I leave this earth. They can be like, yeah, she did all this going out of town and this, that, and the other, and they got no shit. Like, and it's funny, we laugh, but that's so true. Like, like how does that look for your legacy?
That's true. But you know what? I think it was different from, because my great grandmama, her whole insurance, her whole funeral was paid for.
Yeah. See?
All we had to do was show up. Like, she paid for it like maybe twice, I guess, because when she died like she was 104 when she died. So she had been and paid for this burial plan and her whole funeral. All we had to do was show up, make the arrangement, show up. And that was wonderful.
Come on. Come on.
Just to have everything paid for. Oh, Miss Stella. Oh, she had that paid for. So just tell me when y'all want to have a funeral.
Come on.
Where you gonna have the burial, and we'll just do it like that. She's already taken care of. So this is the things that we need. That was easy, even though it was it was hard losing her, but it was easy to go ahead. We didn't have to worry about getting a headstone. We didn't have to worry about the plot, the vault, the this, the that. She knew where she wanted to be buried. She said she wanted to go this place. She had the dress. She had everything. See, but we don't think about that.
Oh, you know what? And it's so funny you said that generation, because I have 2 friends of mine, their sisters. Their mom just passed. They may be listening. Their mom passed. I love that woman. But about last year, so their mom passed, and oh my goodness, when I tell you, it blew my mind. To this day, I said I got to share this with people. It blew my mind, because to this day, their mom, she had everything in place. She had, like you said, how you described, dress prepared. She had everything for them. She had everything written out. Just call these people. Had the phone numbers. The contact information. She had the dress. I got this. I got that. She had the money. She had all the details. So they literally like everything written out, obituary, like everything was done. And I mean, it wowed me because it's like she showed them how much she loved them, her adult children, even from the grave. Grave in heaven, y'all know. But even from that place, from her transitioning to go be with God.
That's right.
Love by having everything in order. So like you said, it took that burden off where you can just show up. All her children had to do were just show up. You know, show up. So I don't want you grieving and crying, stressed out, having to plan this and do that and do, you know what I mean? She had everything planned out. I mean, that blew my mind because I had never seen anything like that.
Me either.
You know? Really. And then a matter of fact, y'all, if I can be honest, even though you know, I had already was selling insurance and things like that, but I didn't have a will or anything in place. But it took that situation for me to say, you know what, let me get my will in order. I thought that was amazing. I said, I don't want my kids and family, you know, stressing out trying to figure out, okay, let's, you know, what do we need to do? How does this, like you said, how does this get allocated? You know, it was the motivation I needed to create my, so yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. Look, and then what tell them the difference about burial insurance. Is that something like extra that you need, or you should just, you know, just allow whole life or term life to be able to pay for your burial?
So yeah, so pretty much burial insurance is the same thing. It's just a matter, you know, people just call it's just a different terminology, but it's still, you know, term or whole life insurance. If someone is specifying quote unquote burial insurance, they're probably just focused on getting maybe a small policy just to cover the burial, but that will fall under either term or whole life.
Oh, okay. So that can okay. So burial is up under term or whole.
Right. Because it's pretty much just insurance. It's just
Oh, okay. I didn't learn something tonight. I thought it was totally different, you know. So
name for it.
Okay. So it's different actually avenues or things like that to term and whole.
Right.
Just life insurance, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You didn't help the people tonight. You didn't help me. I don't know about anybody else, but you helped me.
Yes, ma'am.
But is there anything else that you want to educate the people about concerning life insurance or health insurance or anything, you know, that you would like to leave before we get off of here? Just to educate and just to leave a you know, nugget.
I will say this too, and I meant to actually say this earlier. One of the other benefits of having life insurance isn't just for death. You know, I think I touched on being able to actually pull money out of the account as a loan, where you can get a loan from a policy. But one of the other benefits I wanted to share is with having life insurance. Like, as a matter of fact, we'll use your situation where you were diagnosed with cancer, right? There's different types of policies that you can actually purchase, right? That's maybe a whole life policy. There's different riders and benefits within it that can be catered to you, to where if you had some sort of illness, cancer being one, you know, or different types of illnesses, you can actually cash out on your policy early without having to quote unquote die. But just certain illnesses, you can actually receive your money up front. You know, different things that's built in that covers a person, not just for death, but for life. You know what I mean? If there was some sort of and these, like I said, these are just different benefits that are built in some policies. So just make sure you're mentioning that, whether you're reaching out to me or any other insurance broker or agent. But there's benefits to where, let's say you were out of work, you know what I mean, and you obviously you lost income. There's some that benefits that are built in that pays you a certain amount of income, right, per month. So I guess I want to just take the limits off of people thinking when it comes to life insurance, and just realize it also covers different life benefits while you're alive. So, you know, again, and I say this even as a prophet of the Lord and speaking as someone who operates in faith and trusts God, But we live in a world where there's a lot of infirmities and illnesses and things like that people are facing. Accidents, the unexpected, you know what I mean? And so I think it is crucial that we have something in place. I think that's wisdom.
Yes, it is.
It's wisdom.
Absolutely.
We pray, God, you cover us, you protect us, this, that, and the other. You're a woman of God. You know what I mean? Sometimes we go through stuff. Don't have me up here preaching, but sometimes we go through stuff.
Come on. This is a Christian. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Just to help. Sometimes the Lord will allow us. He don't give us that, but sometimes we go through some stuff and we come out victorious, and it helps to free somebody else. But in that going through that stuff, right? Again, I'm mindful of my words, but sometimes it's what we don't want to happen. I had COVID too. Remember, I said the devil kill me. The devil tried to kill me.
That's right.
I said,
killed me too.
You know what I'm saying? And so I say that to say we just don't know what's gonna happen. We can pray for the best in war and you know what I mean, plead the blood of Jesus.
That's right.
And again, and I'm saying this as a minister of the Lord who know that no weapon formed against us will prosper. You know what I'm saying? But I also say from a place of wisdom that the Lord wants us to get our affairs in order. Matter of fact, we can go Bible. Hezekiah. He had an illness. You remember that? The illness. And King Hezekiah, hallelujah. Shoots, messages keep coming through, messing me up. He had an illness, and the Lord spoke a word through the prophet Isaiah to tell Hezekiah, hey, go ahead and get your affairs in order.
In order. That's right. That's right.
Affairs in order is what he said, because basically you're about to die. So I'm telling you, get your affairs in order. So I ain't saying y'all about to die if y'all listening, But right. If you ain't got your affairs in order, get your affairs in order. So God himself made clear that it is important to get your affairs in order.
That's right.
We to think that we don't need to do the same thing.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That is right. Yeah, that's right. We so worried about red bottoms and Louis Vuitton, and Brahmins, because I love Brahmins too. But all of that, all of that. But but we don't have our affairs in order. We don't have, if something happens to us, if anything can happen. Even though we cover ourselves daily, we cover our children, we cover our spouses, we cover our friends. However, when God chooses to say, "Hey, come on home," we don't. No matter how much we pray, it's over. It's over with. And if we don't have the things in order that we want to have, that we need to have in order, it's going to be confusion. It's going to be anger. It's going to be disappointment. It's going to be frustration. It's going to be all of that. And all of that is of the enemy.
Come on.
Okay. And so if our affairs not in order, that's going to cause some disarray.
Yep.
Right. And so we want to be put to restfully, peacefully,
right.
Peacefully.
To be at peace, knowing they don't cry, they're not crying because they're stressed out, trying to figure out how we gonna live, how we gonna survive. Cry just because I miss them, but I'm glad things were in order. Yeah.
Christina said she never knew. I think we was talking about the whole life.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and she's expecting twins now. So listen, Christina, if you're still on here, baby, you need to try to get them a whole life policy. Like I said, if I knew then what I know now, I'd have been had my children set up a long time ago. But we're never taught that.
Yes.
So and she said it's less than $20 for two.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure that you have those babies taken care of so they can, because I know you want them to go to college and do stuff like that, and you can pull out money and stuff like that. So, you're an entrepreneur too, Christina. She's a makeup artist, and her husband's an entrepreneur as well, although he works a secular job too. But still, they're entrepreneurs, and I know eventually that's what they want to do. They want to let go, because that's eventually what I want to do. I'm going to let go of my secular job, because I feel like if you're doing kingdom, God don't want us to work on nobody's job. You can't get wealthy on nobody's job. I'm just saying.
It was when I'm gonna tell you, it's just even with that, it was the scariest thing, right? To stop. But it was like it's like, I mean, sure, this can be a whole nother conversation, but it's like he forced me to depend on him for everything. And it's like he put, I say all that to say, I didn't think that I could not work for a company, you know what I mean? But I realized I was stressed out working 9 to 5, right? Mommy, still gotta be a mama. Minister, and I still gotta, pray and deliver the word and this, that, and the other. I still have personal time with God, right? I still have study time, right?
Exactly.
Trying to work my business, still trying to me to create content. It was just stressful, and so it was just, it's one of the things where the Lord was just letting me know, I'm releasing you from this job because do what I need you to do. Even with traveling, I can't travel back and forth like I do now if I was still tied to the job.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing for you. And just, like you said, I just believe that, look, I don't mean no harm. I just feel like a slave working for people.
Listen,
telling me can I take this day off? You telling me no? What you mean? I'm grown.
Right.
Tell me I can't take this day off. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. More power to whoever, if you enjoy working for somebody, great, because everybody not called entrepreneurship.
That's right.
Some people are amazing employees. My son, he doesn't want to be a business owner. He's a wonderful employee, Yeah, I'll pull him on to work for me. But
that's right. Everybody's not cut out to be that, But whatever God called you to do, you just be the best, whatever you can be.
That's right.
So entrepreneur ain't your thing, because everybody's not called to be an entrepreneur. Be the best worker you can be. Because you might not want that stress, because being an entrepreneur ain't no joke.
I'm gonna be honest. Listen, it looks good and it sounds good, but it's work.
I know that's my fear. That's why the enemy be working with me, but I have to, bind him up all the time, because I be like, I know what you have for me. We got all off. We were talking about life insurance. We didn't talk about the entrepreneurship stuff. But listen.
Matter of fact, if you're an entrepreneur, because a lot of my business is catered to, like I said, individuals who have families, children, what have you. But I also specialize in working with entrepreneurs specifically, because one of the things I know for me personally, from my experience, before I was an insurance agent, one of the reasons I didn't want to work for myself, that I was hesitant, and most people I realize who are entrepreneurs, because they say, what kind of insurance, you know what I mean, am I going to be able to have working for myself? And a lot of people have jobs just for their insurance. And so personally, I specialize in working with entrepreneurs and small business owners, just maybe a couple employees, not large businesses yet, but I specialize in helping you put together a package, whether it's life insurance, health, vision, dental, all that together at the most affordable cost for you. I don't work with specific like agency or carrier, you know what I mean? So it's not trying to push their products or anything like that. I'm a broker, which means I work for my clients. So my job is to give my client the best policy, benefits, and costs as I possibly can. And so, yeah, if you're an entrepreneur, since we were talking about entrepreneurship, y'all reach out.
Amen. So I thank you, Vanity, for coming on and talking to the audience about health insurance, the importance of getting your affairs in order. Listen, if you need to get in contact with her, her information is ticking on the bottom. I guarantee you, if you call her, she has all the knowledge that you need. She can answer all the questions that you need. hello@insurancewithv.com, and you can call or text 800-491-2526, and she can give you all the information. I promise you, because I started. That's how I started. I called her for my daughter, so that's how I started getting information. But I thank you, Vanity, for coming on today. I'm probably thinking about doing something else, but I'm gonna get with you later. But it's gonna be more on the church side, the prophetic. So yes, I'm thinking about doing something else about that. So, but listen, I would be amiss if I did not offer Christ to those that are watching. It's easy as ABCs. You can accept, believe, and you can confess. It's part of Romans 10:9. Okay. Accept, A, B, believe, C, confess. You know, that's all you need to do to accept Christ as your Savior and be saved and be born again. And that's what Kitchen Conversation is about. Both of us are ministers, both of us are prophetic, both of us are prayer warriors, and we will be honored if you need us to pray for you. You can inbox us. You can say in the chat now that you need prayer. We will pray for you, and we will touch and agree with you. If you have something up before the Lord, this is what we do. We change agents in the world. I'm not just a change agent by myself, right? Prophetic prayer warriors are change agents, and we are praying to have change in your life. So if you need us to pray for you, if you need us to touch and agree with you, if you need us to combat the enemy with you, that's what we do. That's what we do on a daily basis, okay? So since nobody has said anything, but feel free if after this broadcast, if you're listening to the replay, if you feel free that you need to you need prayer or anything like that, please feel free to inbox me, DM no foolishness, because I ain't about that foolishness. I ain't about that life. Okay. I'm all about Christ. Okay. I ain't about no foolishness. So if you need prayer and if you need salvation or anything like that, please DM me and I'll be happy to pray with you. Thanks again, Vanity. Since nobody has said anything, we're going to end this broadcast. Join me not next Thursday, but Thursday after next for Kitchen Conversation. I'm going to try to get on the schedule for every Thursday, but next Thursday I have something to do. I have to go pick up my nephew. So Thursday after next, make sure you set your alarm clocks for 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for another Kitchen Conversations. Thank you so much. Y'all have an absolutely awesome night on purpose. Join us again next week after next. Bye. Y'all have a good night.